Welcome to So Stories. My mom forced me to wear her clothes. 17-year-old Ethan prided himself on being a practical, no-nonsense kind of guy. Growing up with a single mom, Laura, who worked tirelessly as a seamstress, taught him to fend for himself. Their cozy bungalow, with its mismatched furniture and worn wooden floors, felt alive with the hum of Laura's sewing machine. Fabric scraps spill from baskets, thread spools dotted every surface, and half-finished dresses draped over chairs like silent witnesses to her craft. Ethan had a simple life focused on school, sports, and hanging out with friends. He excelled in soccer, and his teammates often joked about his neatness. What they didn't know was that growing up around Laura's meticulous sewing taught him to appreciate order, even if he didn't care for her passion. Fashion seemed trivial to Ethan, just frilly dresses and pointless trends. Laura's late nights at the sewing machine became background noise to him, her tired smiles an unspoken agreement. They loved each other but lived in separate worlds. One rainy Saturday morning, Ethan rushed into the kitchen, his mind on breakfast and weekend plans. He tossed his dirty laundry onto the table without a thought. A steaming cup of coffee teetered, then spilled across the delicate fabric of a client's custom dress, soaking it in dark, spreading stains. "Ethan." Laura's voice cut through the room like a blade. She snatched up the dress, her fingers trembling as she assessed the damage. It had been a commission for a high-paying client, a piece she'd spent weeks perfecting. "Do you have any idea how long this took me?" she asked, her voice shaking with frustration. Ethan froze. I didn't mean to. That's not good enough." Laura interrupted, her tone sharper than he'd ever heard. "You think what I do is easy, that I just sit around playing dress-up." Ethan shrugged, uncomfortable with her intensity. "I said I'm sorry. It's just a dress." Laura's face fell. The words stung more than he realized. She let out a long breath, her lips pressed into a thin line. "Fine," she said, her voice eerily calm. "Let's see you step into my shoes for a change." Ethan raised an eyebrow, unsure what she meant, but the determined glint in her eyes sent a shiver of unease through him. The next morning, Ethan stumbled into the kitchen, still groggy from sleep. Laura was already there, her sewing machine silent but her expression anything but calm. "You're going to help me fix what you ruined," she announced, holding up a collection of dresses. Ethan blinked in confusion. "Help? I don't even know how to sew." "You don't need to," Laura replied, a sly smile playing on her lips. "You're going to be my model." Ethan's jaw dropped. "You're kidding, right?" "Not at all," Laura said, crossing her arms. "You're about the same size as my client, and I need to see how the dresses move on a real person. Either you do this, or you're grounded for a month." Ethan groaned, realizing he had no choice. "Fine, but this is going to be weird." Laura wasted no time. She handed him a pale blue gown, its fabric soft and shimmering in the morning light. Ethan hesitated, staring at the dress like it might bite him. "Well," Laura said impatiently, "get changed." He shuffled off to his room, grumbling under his breath. Slipping into the dress felt strange, the fabric hugging his frame in a way that was both alien and oddly comfortable. When he returned, Laura nodded approvingly. "Not bad," she said, circling him like a sculptor assessing her work. "But we're not done." She handed him a pair of heels. Ethan wobbled as he tried to stand, his balance thrown off by the unfamiliar footwear. "This is ridiculous," he muttered. "Ridiculous or not, you're doing it," Laura replied firmly. "Now walk." The first steps were awkward and humiliating, but Laura's focused demeanor made it clear she wasn't teasing him. By the end of the day, Ethan was exhausted but strangely intrigued. As the days passed, Ethan found himself drawn deeper into Laura's world. Modeling dresses became a regular activity, each session introducing new elements. Laura began experimenting with makeup, carefully applying foundation and eyeliner to highlight his features. Ethan squirmed at first but couldn't deny the surprising transformation. "You've got great bone structure," Laura said one afternoon, tilting his chin up. Most models would kill for those cheekbones. Ethan rolled his eyes but felt a flicker of pride. Laura added wigs to the mix, styling them to match the outfits. With each session, Ethan became less resistant, even enjoying the process. There was something fascinating about watching his reflection change, becoming someone entirely different. One afternoon, Laura's friend Marcy stopped by unexpectedly. Ethan panicked, retreating to the sewing room. "Relax," Laura said. "She won't recognize you." Sure enough, Marcy gasped when she saw Ethan in a sleek red dress. "Laura, this model is stunning. Who is she?" "This is Emily," Laura said smoothly. "She's helping me out for a few days." Ethan froze, but the compliment left him reeling. Could he really pass as someone else entirely? The turning point came when Laura received a last-minute invite to a prestigious fashion gala. One of her models had cancelled, leaving her desperate. "I need you to come as Emily," Laura said. Ethan's initial reaction was horror. "No way. I'm not going to a public event like this." "It's just one night," Laura insisted. "No one will know, and it would mean the world to me." After much persuasion, Ethan reluctantly agreed. The night of the gala, Laura worked her magic. She contoured his face, styled a luxurious wig, and fitted him into a shimmering black gown. When Ethan finally looked in the mirror, he barely recognized himself. He was Emily, a vision of elegance and grace. At the gala, Ethan felt like every eye was on him. Walking in heels on a polished floor was nerve-wracking, and every compliment from strangers made his heart race. As the night progressed, Ethan began to relax. People treated him like a glamorous model, and he found himself enjoying the attention. One young designer, Sam, approached him, praising Emily's poise and confidence. "You have a natural presence," Sam said. "Have you ever considered modeling professionally?" Ethan laughed nervously, unsure how to respond. But the compliment lingered, filling him with an unexpected warmth. For the first time, Ethan felt like more than just Laura's son or a reluctant participant. He was Emily, graceful, confident, and admired. Back home, Ethan expected Laura to laugh and thank him for helping out. Instead, she sat him down. "You surprised me tonight," Laura said. "You've grown so much in these past few days." Ethan shrugged, unsure how to respond. "This wasn't just about modeling," Laura continued. "It was about stepping outside your comfort zone. I think you learned something about yourself, and maybe so did I." Her words lingered, sparking a flood of emotions Ethan wasn't ready to face. In the weeks that followed, Ethan found himself thinking about Emily more often than he cared to admit. Dressing up had been an eye-opening experience, challenging his perceptions of identity and self-expression. Laura didn't push him to revisit Emily, but the dresses remained in her studio, a silent invitation. One quiet afternoon, while Laura was out, Ethan stood before the mirror with a soft blue dress in hand. This time, there was no pressure, no audience. He slipped into the dress, letting the fabric hug his frame. He carefully applied makeup, styled a wig, and took a deep breath as he gazed at his reflection. For the first time, he wasn't doing it for anyone else. He was doing it for himself. In that moment, Ethan realized that being Emily wasn't about becoming someone else. It was about discovering a new part of who he already was. Thank you for joining us on another captivating journey through Zoe's stories. Remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tale. Until next time, keep exploring, keep imagining, and keep believing in the magic of storytelling. See you in the next chapter.